So let's dive into our second books, Leo. What do you have for your second book?
Ooh, wee. Okay, so this second book, I'm gonna call it Audible, and I'm gonna have a honorable mention. So this second book, I just picked it up. Not through with it yet, but it's kind of revolutionized how I approach negotiations and presentations. And I think even pastors, ministers, evangelists could learn from this. It's called Pitch Anything.
Mm.
And the author is a Wall Street guy, financial guy. What he does is he just raises money from accredited investors. As people with, who make 250 or more a year or have $1 million net worth. Most of the time, both. So his approach is through the brain of the individual. It's called Pitch Anything. And he talks about the crocodile brain, which is basically the fight or flight, that if you have a long presentation, the crocodile brain will discard it quickly. It has to be intriguing, but not cause fear. He talks about how to navigate through the crocodile brain, the middle brain, and then your fully developed brain, which is typically how we communicate when we do presentations, when we try to pitch something, is we go forward with the analytical type arguments that people will tag out on. And he gives some tools and some techniques. One of the fortunes he was pitching, one guy who's one of the big heavy hitters, and during his pitch, he saw the guy turned over the pamphlet that he gave about the presentation, about the investment, flipped it over, and he was drawing around his hand. Mm-hmm. He was literally making classroom turkeys on his hand on the sheet of paper. That's how disinterested this guy was in his presentation. And he talks about the frame and how the stronger frame will win. And he talks about how you go into the frame and how he broke that guy's frame is because he's coming from a frame, powerful and so on. He talks about how to say things that are purposely uncomfortable to people and cause them to react to it. So he said, let's stop everything. How much for that piece of paper, for that drawing? That's high class art right there. How much is it? Right. No, let's stop everything. How much is that? I'll give you $100,000 for that right now. I'll give you know what I mean? So that totally like, whoa, wait. This is not the right type of attention that I'm wanting. And that allowed him to recapture the decision makers' attention and continue forward with his presentation. Now he has everybody like, I'm only halfway through. He drops some jewels. He talks about the power frame, which is one of the most powerful frames. Like if you get pulled over, the cop has the power frame, and you could do everything by the nice guy frame. Like, hey, I'm usually a good driver. Yeah, could you let me off with a warning? And authority typically takes the day, and he teaches how to establish authority, how to keep authority, and how to approach people that are cocky, that are high-minded, people that are analytical, that only want the numbers. They don't want the intrigue. They don't want all that. But part of getting the pitch is to develop intrigue. So pitch anything, anybody in any dealing with people, not just in sales, but if you deal with people, this really would give you a great foundation on how to approach conversations. And it'll even help you craft your sermon because it talks about how to put intrigue and how long the human brain is able to keep the human brain's attention. Yeah. So all the times that people go to church, say church was great, and they ask me, what was the sermon about? I don't know, but we had a time. All right? So that tells you that at one point the mind tuned it out.
Yeah.
That I put that as number 2 right now. I'm loving that book. I'm just now getting through it. Pitch Anything. You can find it wherever books, audiobooks are available. It's not a new book. It's just new to me, and I'm loving what I'm learning from it.
I definitely added that to my list, so I'm looking forward to diving into that. Never heard of it before, but
Yeah,
definitely
it's great. It's a great.
definitely. I heard something. I'm just gonna say on a podcast. I'm not gonna give the
Yeah, don't
name
give
of
him props. We ain't getting no props.
I heard it recently, and what you were just talking about reminded me of this. It was a redirect, like if you're in a sales pitch, right? And somebody tries to lowball you, right? So, like, let's say you have a service or a product that is $10,000, and they say, "Will you take $7,000?" He said, "No, but I could take 15." And they always go back to his original number. He said he's used that same pitch anytime, like there's like he's negotiating and the person tries to go lower, he always goes to a higher amount. So, and he
Yeah,
said
break
he's
the frame. So he says something like that too. So he'll go in to pitch with somebody, and somebody will say, "Hey, I only got 15 minutes for you today." And he's like, "Oh, that's great because I only have 12." So that breaks the power frame, because then that power frame is him saying, "Yo, you got a short amount of time. Do your work, man. Get out of here." But now the power dynamic goes to him,
yeah,
and he talks about how you get into meetings and the primary decision maker isn't there, and how to navigate that. Let's say, "Hey, where's Mr. Big Shot?" And they're like, "Well, he's not available right now, but I'm sure he'll come in in some part of the meeting. He'll come in here." So, well, um, I'll give him 15 minutes to get here, but after that, I really have to go. So we've all been late to meetings. I understand that, but we'll give him 15 minutes to get here. If not, then we'll have to go. And if the 15 minutes goes by and he's not in there, get your stuff and get out, and say, "Hey," and then next time set the power dynamic that they have to come to you now,
yeah,
because you're offering something. You're not begging. You're presenting an opportunity.
yeah,
You have to go in with that value and that power. And he said 9 times out of 10, they're going to be apologetic because they don't want to be perceived as that. But he says most of the time, somebody will find Mr. Big and bring him into the room so you can do your presentation. He puts everything aside because you already had the meeting set up. It wasn't a surprise thing, so he knew that was on the docket, and it's just a power play, and you have to turn that on its head.
yeah.
So those are things that I think are really really great to know.
That's what's up, man.